Welcome, everyone, to the Subject for podcast. My name is Artemis. I am joined today by Nugs. Hello, Mr. Nugs. Um, I have a Coke. If you did not catch us beforehand, we were live on our Twitch channel. If you did not know that we have a Twitch channel, surprise, we do. It is in our link tree. It is in the description. Go ahead and click the link tree, and you can go ahead and follow us over on Twitch. But right now, we were going through the stories. We only made it through the first one. We do have the writer of the second one, which is the third person who's in this chat. Bethany is here. Hi, Bethany. Welcome back. We were halfway through her story. We will get into that story after we'll pick up where we left off on Twitch. And if you weren't over on Twitch, read and catch up really quick while I do the announcements. Let me get it. I'm still. It is Project 863 Project Dreamcast. We are halfway down, halfway through this one. And we're Spellbound Inc. Blue Base at 145. That's where we left off. So if you want to read through that while I'm going over the announcements, once again, this is not our regular scheduled program. Usually we are telling stories, but the last Saturday of the month, we like to... We want to go back to our roots, and we want to hit all the canon stories, all the short stories that Chanel is posting over on Substack. And I know a lot of you guys have questions of when season 5 is going to start, which is basically book number 5. When that is going to start. That is going to start in next week. So if you're like, oh, I am not caught up, these are just the canon short stories that we are going through that we are allowed to talk about. We cannot talk about the actual paid content because, well, who would pay for it if we're just going to read it and talk about it? So, but we are going to go through the fantastic Subject 4's canon stories that they are producing, like Bethany here has made. And again, if you are the authors of the other ones that we're going to be going through, if you would like to read yours on air with us right now, please let us know. Ping either Nugs or myself in the Subject 4 podcast general. And if you are not a member of our Discord, link is in the link tree in the description. Go ahead and join, and then send us a ping, and we'll get you up here so you can read your story. I think it's BL Wilson, and I can't remember the last person. Sorry. Anyways.
Maddie, BL Wilson, Bethany, and one other.
So yes.
Nix Kelly is the other one.
Nix. That's what it was, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you're out there and you're listening, or you guys know them, please send them a DM. Let them know that we're going to be reading their stories on air. And if they would like to read it, most likely this is Spellbound's going to hear us reading it. They're probably going to be listening to the authors reading it. So it's a good time to get your voice out there, as long if it's your project, because we want to celebrate you in the success of making it into the canon short story series.
Yep. And if you are one of those authors, and you are listening right now, send me a DM on Discord, and we can bring you up onto the.
Oh yeah, I forgot you have your DMs open. I can't have my DMs open. I get flooded. So, and I shut down my DMs like season 2. So. But anyways, so yes, and if you're confused, if you are new here, usually we talk about real life things, fictional things. We talk about stories because we are storytellers. Because at the end of our lives, we are just stories in the end. That is all that human nature is when we pass on. We're just stories and our life experiences at the end of the day. So let's share our stories. Let's share what makes us human, what makes us what basically the meaning of life is creating your own story, and we would like to hear your stories. And every Monday on the Discord I will post a topic, a couple of topics. The Discord is the only one who's going to vote, so I do post once the Discord is done voting on what topic they want to hear us talk about. Then I let Instagram and Twitter know. And then if you guys have short stories like we did last week, we did near-death experiences. We read some of yours, and then we told some of our experiences. And we found out that Nugs has a boring life. So
Okay,
he's never almost died.
Once, okay,
That's
I haven't
boring.
almost died, but that doesn't mean I have a boring life.
Yeah, it does. No. Sorry.
Look, I haven't almost died. B, I haven't even broken a bone before. So
Boo.
So no, that's
No, just kidding.
that does not make it less exciting though.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what topics I pull out of my butt this week and what our staff pulls out. And yeah, so next Saturday it will be back to our regular scheduled program where we talk about life experiences. But the last Saturday of the month, we go back to our roots, and we were talking about 863. Let me make sure I have everything ready. Haha, I have your picture up here still from last week. I know. Artie should have this done ahead of time, but I don't.
Done ahead of time, but you don't.
Jeez,
Oh.
my phone just went off.
No.
Well, it was me.
No, it's my phone letting me know that I'm live. Stupid phone. I know I'm live. I'm the one that did it. Okay.
Welcome to the podcast, Bethany. This is just chaos.
No, I love y'all. Y'all are great. Y'all are so entertaining.
Yeah.
Well, and you get to be part of the entertainment.
I pretend I know what I'm doing most of the time.
Hopefully I'm as half as entertaining as y'all are.
Oh, your story is fantastic. And I love how smart you made Matt. I bet he appreciates it as well. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. I'm dying. Okay, there's chat. Sorry, chat. You went away for a second. I'm coming. I'm coming. Gotta get my counter. Gotta get the sponsor. All right. Let's do the Google. We're gonna raise that up. Chat, can you see that okay?
Looks fine to me.
Do I need to make it bigger? Do I need to make the words bigger?
No, it's fine.
Okay. I'm gonna make it bigger.
Do I need to make?
Just does
Do I
it
need to
anyway.
make it bigger? No, I'm gonna make it bigger.
Does it anyway?
Yep, that's me. All right. There we go. All right, you remember where we left off, right, Bethany?
Yeah, I think so. Spellbound Inc. Blue Base 145, right?
Yep. And once again, this is the actual author reading to us her short story
Hello.
canon. Alrighty, go ahead.
Here we go. All right. Spellbound Inc. Blue Base 1:45 p.m. Hey Chanel, we brought lunch. Sam and Bailey held up bags of out and in as they entered the break room. Is Matt done with the dope or nope shoot yet? He just finished, actually. Chanel grabbed a drink from the fridge and made her way to a table, pulling out a chair. Her vision moving past the girls and toward the entryway. There's Matt. Sam followed her gaze, making eye contact with her boss as he stepped into view. Did you need me, Chanel? Matthias ambled into the room, smiling as he caught a whiff of the food. Ooh, out and in. I'm part of whatever meeting you're having. He voiced the famous Matthias chuckle and glanced at Sam. You got lunch for your boss, right? She'd better. He raised his brows. The girls laughed until the serious face pulled an affirmative confession from them, appeasing the tyrannical CEO of Spellbound who must have his out and in. Matt broke the charade, unable to hide his humor. Really, though, if you're not being sarcastic, what are you doing? Where's Woods? Sam set the bags of food on a table and slid into the chair next to Bailey. You're the boss, shouldn't you know? Sarcasm tinted her tone. Matthias rocked his head back. Of course, everything's the boss's fault. He laughed. Woods is here. Woodland appeared. How is the kid always so quiet? What's up? Matt motioned toward the food. Lunch. You think I didn't smell that in the hall? He picked the chair next to Sam, reaching for a bag. Lucky for you, we got extra, Sam teased, passing Woods a drink. Did you find that cassette player? Matthias took the remaining empty seat, moving to unwrap his burger. He should probably have water, the healthier option. His hand moved toward a bottle. Yeah, I've got it. Woods stuffed a ketchup-drenched French fry into his mouth and pulled the device from his back pocket. A portable Walkman-style cassette player. The thing looked ancient. He set it on the table. Do you think it'll even play? Bailey sipped her soft drink. I figured we should at least try it. Who knows? Matt sank his teeth into the warm cheese, beef, and bun, grabbing a napkin when the ketchup escaped. If it doesn't play, though, I don't know what we'll do. Don't talk with your mouth full. Bad manners, Matt. Samantha put her burger down and wiped her hands. I'm so curious about the paper, though. Me too, actually. Matt found the napkin, wiping the out and in off his hands before finding the paper still tucked in the pocket of his distressed jeans. He carefully unfolded the creases. It's another project form. His brows furrowed. Project Dreamcast, appointed by N. Cyphus. He began reading. The Project Dreamcast objective is to record, monitor, and observe cognitive data while semi-conscious, to fully understand a patient's headspace and their fears, as well as any vaulted information through the use of the Dreamcast headset and Dreamcast CDM. Cognitive data monitor. Additionally, to alter the cognitive state to implement desired emotions, ideals, and motivation to hopefully affect the fully conscious mind. Fascinating. Matt scanned the document. And creepy. Sam's brows furrowed. That sounds dangerous. You found that in the headstone? Chanel inquired from across the room. Matt nodded. It's authorized by Nelson. His eyes moved back to the three at his table, pointing to the signature. It has another one too, though. Woods took the form from Matt. See? Grace Fraser. We haven't heard that name before. Bailey threw her food wrappers in the trash, returning to the table. What else does it say? Looks like Grace was the initiator. Her signature's here too. Woods concentrated on the form and read the next paragraph aloud. Initiator notes. Project Dreamcast was originated to record a patient's dreams while under the Project Pegasus serum possessive control for a better understanding into their semi-conscious headspace and vaulted information. The project took a turn when it was discovered one could utilize the CDM in implanting desired data and ideals into the patient while semi-conscious, resulting in an altered conscious state when awakened. This can record the dreams of victims possessed by Nelson. The realization hit hard. I had some crazy dreams during those 7 months I was... Matt choked on his own words. No one could imagine what he'd gone through, doing things he never thought himself capable of because through Nelson, he'd betrayed everyone he loved. Matt's eyes found the floor. Keep going, Woods. Woodland continued reading after an encouraging nod from Samantha. His chill tone dampened the serious mood. This discovery is both groundbreaking and extremely dangerous. The implications are numerous, but I fear the positive impact to be minimal at best. Nelson wishes to proceed testing, however, I think it unwise considering the possible ramifications of having the mind implemented with foreign data. Time will tell. So she had drawbacks about the project? Sam voiced as she crossed her legs under the table. Obviously not enough to stop it. Matt sipped his soda, the liquid tingling on his tongue. The Project Spire form had some remorse from Wes, but they knew his character, somewhat. They hadn't heard of this Grace Fraser before. Does it say anything else? Only dates and stuff. Woods handed the document back to Matt. Says the clearance level is peppermint, though. Matt looked over the form again. But this doesn't solve anything. Frustration laced his tone. He didn't want to give up, but they had nothing to go on for this tape, except for the tape. And it wasn't exactly guaranteed to be playable. Matthias inverted the paper. Is that writing on the back? He squinted. Ugh, can't see it. He rose, moving toward a light source. I think it says CDM safe at location 1. But this is location 1, right? Yeah, Bailey. Matt scanned the document for additional messages. Nothing. He settled his weight back into the chair. There's one of those monitor things here. Woods scratched the backside of his head, taking the cassette player off the table. I bet that'll play the tape. He fiddled with the volume buttons. I don't even want to think about that tape's recording. Samantha sighed. Watching someone else's Syntech dream? She shook her head. Someone's possessed dream, Matt muttered. Guess I got this player out for nothing if we're going to try to find this dream machine. Oh, I don't like that at all. Matt gave Woods a disgusted glance. It's better than cognitive destruction maniac device. Matt lost a serious mood and gave Woods the eye. Cognitive data monitor, he chuckled. Whatever it's called, how are we going to find it? There it was, the million-dollar question. Bailey in for the win. Matt smiled and pushed back from the table. Follow me. I have an idea. Spellbound Inc., Blue Base, Megadesk, 2 p.m. Pinging 20,000 plus people? Some might call him crazy, but then again, when was Matthias Fredrick ever afraid of a little chaos? Hit enter. Matthias 863. We found a document with this scribbled on the back. Any idea where this device could be hidden? The question was straight to the point. Numerous suggestions and dozens of messages swamped the calling subject forward channel. Thank goodness for slow mode. They're all saying check Deb's hideout under the server room where we found the RSD. Matt slid his fingers towards the keyboard, speaking as he typed. We combed those locations thoroughly. Nothing. Enter. The team watched in anticipation. Several people suggested going back to location 7. Matt scoured the feed. Honestly, did they even read the pinged message? Bailey pulled Discord up on her phone to aid Matt's endeavor, scanning the hundreds of replies. Someone said check under the stairs in Red Base. Sam inhaled. We found stuff in all the staircases we looked under. Woods made in addition. Deb's hideout, the server room, seems Red Base is a prime location. Who messaged that? Matt glanced over his shoulder. Bailey scanned her screen, thumbing through the feed to find the message. User is Megabat320. Matt chuckled. Nice. He scrolled to find the message and hit reply. Under the stairs, you say? Good idea. Hit enter. He swallowed and watched as more suggestions rolled in. Don't forget to breathe, says. Use the Geiger counter. Sifey is Tanner's mom. Take a bat to the walls. Overkill check pen says, be safe, guys. Chill kill 83. Drill a hole and use the endoscope from season 1. Now that's an idea. Matt rubbed his chin. Woods, the endoscope still around? I mean, it's around somewhere. Can you find a drill too? Matt typed a reply to chill kill 83. We're going to give it a try. He quickly typed another message and hit enter. Subject 4 always came through. Matthias 863. Thanks, guys. Bye for now. He pushed away from Megadesk and swiveled in his chair to face the team. Red Base, anyone? Spellbound Inc., Red Base. A staircase in Red Base. 3:09 p.m. Matt wiped his eye goggles with the hem of his shirt, saw in hand. Drywall particles were everywhere, and an hour's work had yielded multiple holes drilled in an attempt to find an angle that would allow them to see more than just pitch black. Shine a light through one while endoscoping the other, hoping to gain footage that would describe the reality behind the wall. Debris littered the floor, and a box with various drill bits, goggles, and respirators jumbled together was strewn to the side. The black endoscope corded up and set on top. Matthias clutched the grip of the drywall saw, sliding it back and forth in a vigorous motion. They'd found something, all right. The secrets hidden in his studio never ceased to amaze him. Wood soon stepped in to take his turn with the saw, and Matt moved out of the way, retrieving his smartphone to review snapshots of the endoscope's feed from earlier. The thing was futuristic looking, though it had an 80s retro cassette vibe that matched the era. Sam and Bailey were on standby. Moral support had been deemed. Matthias let out a breath, wiping perspiration from his forehead. Thank goodness for air conditioning. We're almost through, Matt. Woods made several final pulls with the saw. Hand me that screwdriver. Matt fetched the item and stepped forward. I got it. He forced the flat end into the cut and pried it outward, creating just enough room to slip in his fingers. With a grunt, he and Woods pulled the remaining bits of stubborn drywall free, creating an open cavity about the size of a narrow full-length mirror. Matt engaged the light on his smartphone and braced his left hand on the wall beside the opening, reaching the light as far into the darkness as his arm would allow, his body following, inhaling dust that hadn't been breathed for decades. Woods made his way in next, Sam following Bailey in after. The light from 4 smartphones wasn't too shabby. This is insane. Matthias stepped further into the room, moving his light around to get a better bearing of their surroundings. A lab coat was hung on a nail near the right wall. Woods pulled off the name tag. Grace Fraser, neurobiologist. Fascinating. Matt studied the name tag, afterward moving the light to a beat-up desk toward the back of the room. Good thing they were witnesses, proof he wasn't crazy. Matt eyed the desk. Set upon it was the device, about the size of a large microwave. The digital screen and interface similar to the Apple II, only there were knobs and buttons with function titles in addition to the keyboard. Dreamcast CDM printed on the side. Faded white paneling encased the text guts, and dual red and blue stripes ran along the interface. A set of ancient headphones were hooked over what looked like an antenna, and Syntech logos branded at the top and side. Look! Woods held up a headset akin to a modern VR device. Does this plug into that? Matthias narrowed his gaze on the device in Woodland's hands. It was obviously several decades old. The word Dreamcast was printed on the front and an export cable attached under the eyes, its end dangling loose. About a yard of cable. Matt moved his focus to the CDM. Surely the devices were made to work in tandem. A thick layer of dust shrouded the monitor's exterior, but one thing was clear. A compartment to the left of the screen, perfectly sized for a cassette tape. Everyone held their breath as Matthias thumbed the power switch, watching as the screen booted up and the Dreamcast logo appeared in view on the black monitor screen, sending chills down everyone's spines as the deja vu of the Apple II hit their core. Lucky the thing even worked after all this time. Matt flipped open the side compartment, the words "Insert tape" stamped on the interior cavity. Bailey? Matt extended his hand behind him and received the tape, rotating it into the proper position before he slipped it into place. A perfect fit. Ready? Matt looked at his team. Did they nod? The shadows made it difficult to tell. Matt inhaled. Of course they were ready. He closed the compartment and engaged the nearest button, a cheer arousing when the monitor fully came to life, illuminating the cramped quarters even more. Lines of text developing on the screen. Grace Fraser, patient ID B520811425. Engage dream data. Matthias swallowed and looked back at his team, that glint of excitement filling his eyes. His fingers found the keys and hit enter, more text appearing in a scroll-down feed. Clearance lever required. Enter access code. Type text here. What? An exhale escaped Matt's lungs and he rubbed his forehead. Access code? You've got to be kidding me. He clenched his jaw. It says Grace Fraser, though. Bailey stepped closer to the device. Why would it be her dream? She initiated the project. Nods of agreement all around. Woods folded his arms. It doesn't make any sense. Matt let out a discouraged breath, his hand gesturing forward as he spoke. She probably didn't know she was being recorded. The barrier was obvious. So close yet so far. A few moments of silence followed before Matt ejected the tape, securing it in his pocket. He ran his tongue across his bottom lip. Why does everything have to have a code we don't know? He slammed his hand on the table, sending particles of dust every which way. Woods patted Matt's shoulder. We'll find it. He exchanged sympathetic glances with the team before grabbing the headset. Subject 4 will help us. He exhaled, administering another meaningful pat on Matthias' shoulder. Let's take this stuff out into the light and get a closer look. I mean, we've just discovered a brand new piece of tech to explore. Matt's hand settled on his waist and he studied the device, blue eyes closing as he nodded. You're right. His lips shoved into a low-key smile. We should take this as a win. He looked at his team. Let's update the evidence database so Subject 4 can get their eyes on it. But our next move is going to be finding that code. Matt let out a breath. You with me? Affirmatives all around. Matt nodded, and knowing Matthias' smile appearing on his face. Good. I have a feeling this is important. So that's the end of the story, and then I made a project form and a visual digital art of the tech.
All right, I'm just looking at this new project form.
Yeah, and then below that, there's the Dreamcast artwork that I made for it.
I love this.
So I do have a question though.
Yeah.
So was the out and in intentional, or did they have you change that for like legal reasons?
I did it on purpose, intentional, because I knew that because it's like a business and I didn't want a copyright issue. So yeah, I did it on purpose.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you wrote it as in and out, and then they were like, "Yeah, we can't do that."
Yeah, I didn't want that to happen, so I just did it anyway.
Right. Okay. I just found it hilarious when you first said it. I'm like, wait, out and in, and then you kept saying it. I'm like, okay, so this is actually, it wasn't a mistake. It was there on purpose.
You know what? Like, what's really good about this story is, I caught that too, the out and in. It makes me feel like this could be a parallel universe.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I'm wondering if that's what caught Chanel, was all like, ooh. And like, so do you know what a Dreamcast is?
I I mean, there might be something called that in real life, but I mean, I made
Yeah.
up the tech idea myself. So
Yeah.
so
So a Dreamcast is so Sega, there was a Sega Genesis, and then after the Sega Genesis, there was the Sega Dreamcast.
oh, cool,
And
cool.
so I'm wondering if they're going to, because it gives off these vibes of parallel universe. And
Cool.
I love it. I love this
Well,
story.
I
And
think I was like, no name is original, so there's got to be something called that somewhere. But
mhm.
I wasn't gonna change it after I already thought it up. So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so it could be because like they were doing like an Apple II. Well, maybe the core of this device that you have created is a Sega Dreamcast. So,
yeah, you never know.
yeah.
The door is
Yeah.
open.
Yeah, it is. So, we never know what's going on in Chanel's head. So, but it's amazing.
But we know it will be. But we know it will be great. Yes.
Well, since we have the author here, guys, do you guys have any questions? I know that some people were kind of upset that we had to end your story on Twitch and then we had to cut back over to YouTube because everyone's all like, the suspense is killing me. Like, we kind of left them in a little.
Yeah.
So, if you guys
Yeah.
have any questions while we are talking about, freaking Nugs, sorry.
Where are you?
No. Oh, you will do. He sent me a text message that
was
says
yawning.
you're live.
It's a little late.
He's just being a jerk. He likes to do that because the thing is that I need to turn off.
No, you need to turn me off. Darn.
No, I need to turn off. I need to turn
Guess
off
this is my last day, guys.
No, I need to turn off my ringtone because a bunch of people probably heard Matt going, "Ha ha, Artemis."
I didn't hear it.
Hey, well, you won't because you're on Discord. They heard it on YouTube. Anyone have
Okay.
any questions? Okay, Grace Hand says, how long did it take you to come up with this epic and great idea, Bethany?
That's a good question. Let's see. I know I wanted to do something with the Wes's headstone thing right off the bat because I actually had written up that riddle for fun months ago. And I was like, I can use this. But the Dreamcast idea kind of just came while I was writing it. So, short answer is it kind of just happened as I was writing it, if that makes any sense.
Oh, gotcha.
Christy just says, good story.
Oh, thank you, Christy. I appreciate it.
Why does Dusty Girl say that we should have yelled Jumanji at the end? Dusty Girl. There's my staff for you. Let me see.
We have a weird staff team. We really do.
I know.
We're a really
Don't say
weird
weird.
podcast.
Say unique.
Also, Grace says, you have an amazing voice.
Oh. I don't think so, but that's nice of her to say.
See, everybody says that about a lot. Not everybody. A lot of people have said that to me too, and I'm like, I said the same thing. It's like I don't really think so.
Well, they say you are your own worst critic, so if there's proof of that.
True.
Clash, is the writing still too small for you? I can make it bigger. I am highlighting it as we are going to kind of help people follow along.
Yeah, so I guess I read part of the Dreamcast. I didn't read the full one.
Just wasn't interesting enough for you to finish. I get you now.
I was at work. I couldn't read much.
The opportunity.
I haven't even read anything.
Yeah, they release them on Fridays, and I work on Fridays, so I'll usually be like, oh, I'll read it later, because I'll get the email. Oh, it's been released. I'll just be like, oh, I'll just read it later, and I just don't.
And then I pull his attention.
Yeah, well, and sometimes I think I forget how long it actually takes to read through something. Even if it's short, it just takes time to read through stuff like that.
And these aren't even, I mean, because these are long too. It does take a while to read, to read and like, what's the word? Like digest it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Because I remember the criteria for the submissions, it had to be between 3 and 5K words. So
Oh, okay.
Oh, did it?
yeah, it no more, no less than 3 to 5K.
Gotcha.
Dusty Girl says, when you were talking about parallel universes in the Apple II, it made me think of the video game of sorts and then jumped to Jumanji. LOL. My train of thought has multiple tracks and splits frequently. LOL. Yeah.
What are you
same
saying, Grace? What are you saying yes to? I'm a little confused.
about your voice, I think. I think it's a delay.
That's what I would guess, yeah.
Well, I think I was kind of just doing the whole reading the stories as a test run over on Twitch, but it kind of seems like everyone is enjoying this, so maybe next month we will just do reading the stories and discussing afterwards, and I'll do homework beforehand, and we'll get the authors if they are willing to read it. And if not, maybe we can get a thespian, Garrett, or Inky, or do we have any more
Me.
thespian? Nah, you don't count. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding,
right.
and you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
it. You know it. I really want to hear Nick read one. I'll probably fall asleep.
I know all 3 of the other authors, so I can message them and tell them to get in contact with y'all.
Well, the thing is, I've talked to every single one of them, including you, on the official server, but I don't just have contact with them. You know,
Yeah,
I'm not just gonna go into the premium channel in the official server and be like, this person, this come on podcast period.
Hey, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah, I think I remember chatting with you briefly when I did that original song. I think that's when we chatted, I think.
Yes. Yeah, we haven't talked like a whole lot. I bet I've been a part of conversations like with you, but
Yeah.
that song was
Senior
really
name.
nice though. I like that. Artie, did you see that, or did you listen to that? I sent it to you.
What?
What?
What? Did you send it to me when I was at work? Because nothing.
Probably. Let me find it. Or Bethany, you probably have a quicker link to it than I do.
Yeah.
All right, I'm subscribed to your channel. I'm just gonna go and scroll down.
Nothing
to my
exists outside of my work when I'm there. I'm just kidding.
I found it.
Yeah,
I
I have
actually
to
do a lot
re-
of the
re-record
podcast
that.
stuff at work.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
See, I can't do that. My job isn't like that.
My coworker, and shout out to Bo if you're listening to this. My coworker Bo called me Artemis the other day, and it made me like okay, the fact that he called me Artemis didn't give me like this like weird feeling. Is the fact that I answered to it.
Oh,
And it was all
I
like,
sent it to you
you sent it to me where?
in DMs.
Okay.
So it's a song that Bethany wrote to the Project 863 main theme, and I think it was really cool.
yeah, I need to re-record it. I had a cold when I recorded it. I need to redo it. I just haven't. I've been lazy and busy.
Yep, that's how it goes. You could, if you want, you could probably. I mean, obviously with Bethany's permission, you could play it on the stream.
Yeah, if you want it, but I mean,
Let's see.
y'all stream, so y'all do what you want.
All right, I posted
Well,
it.
but it's your content. I'm not just gonna like steal it.
We
I'm not
do
gonna
it all
stream
the
without permission.
time, like Nick stuff. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we own him. No, I'm just kidding.
Where's the we in this? I own the buffalo. Just kidding.
Okay, no, we.
No, y'all are starting to sound like on the Project 63. We own the future. No, I own the future. Y'all are turning into
Yeah,
that. Come on.
Hey, were you around when we did our April Fools?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I played Nelson.
That was so
I
fun.
was very
Yeah,
good at
yeah.
Nelson too.
That was so fun.
I can't remember. Somebody told me something, and my only answer was just no.
No.
The entire Discord went insane.
It was
I was just
it was pretty funny.
no.
No.
Well, there's like this huge thing that I'm Deb. And so I thought it was, I don't know. I think I play a better Nelson than I would Deb. So I enjoyed being evil. But it was kind of, I was like screaming at Garrett in the comments because he was playing one of my phantoms and I was yelling at him like that GR better not be in a Celt or something like that. It was like,
What?
I was trying to drop hints to the Discord because they had to solve everything. I was trying to drop hints that I was headed to Scotland. And so, and what was funny, and I was actually like looking up flights. And so people could in real time follow Nelson on flights in Europe. Some people found it, another person was all like, your flight's delayed. I was like, no, the flight that I'm actually on, he's in the air. So
it's delayed in midair.
yes.
It's currently falling. It's currently falling into the ocean.
Angie says, I still remember waking up at 5 a.m. to get ready to work and seeing an S4P podcast turning evil, and I was so confused. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was awesome. I think we will do something like that next April Fool's. I have some things planned for October, but nothing in the prank. But we subject for podcast.
It wasn't even a prank.
Spooky.
It was just like we just decided, all right, we're gonna throw a narrative out there.
Nah, it was a prank because we also like filmed ourselves getting kidnapped.
Oh, of course you did.
Yeah, we did. It's true. I have the
Did
MP3s.
you
Huh?
have a phantom name, or were you just the Phantom? What was your phantom name?
What was I? I think mine was
I don't
like your
remember.
stalker. I was the stalker.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember everyone's names. I came up with Alyssa's name because she was like, I can't come up with something, so I came up with hers.
Most of us played an existing character.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alyssa can be so funny. But she loves to call people Nelson. It's her favorite pastime.
Alyssa? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's called, lots of people Nelson.
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny.
Artemis loves being evil confirmed.
Oh, I love. Oh my gosh, Angie, you have no idea. Like, so the college that I went to right out of high school, the college that I went to was a religious college, and we used to do these like dramatizations of certain things, and there was one called The Puppet Master that we did, and it was full of demons and angels, and I never wanted to play angel. I wanted to be a demon because they got knives.
Well, of course you did.
Well, and they got knives and they got like cloaks and you got to be evil. And I remember one time I was walking down the aisle and I was dressed up as a demon and I like snarled at this kid and he started crying. I was like,
You just break character and start laughing.
Well, I know. I think a demon would laugh if a kid started crying, but like in my soul, I was all like, take that kid. But then, when the angels beat us up, the kid was all like, yeah. So yeah.
Best lines though.
Yeah, playing evil's fun, and I have to talk to Matt about spell breaking, about playing Nelson. I have to talk to him one day and be like, dude, did you have as much fun as I think you did playing that? Like, why don't you go in first, Sam? Like, no, Sam, run. When he was leading her to the trap at Blue Base, I was all like,
why don't you go on ahead?
I know, and he kept doing this like ladies first, and he wouldn't make eye contact with them. He'd like look above their heads or something like that, and he'd just be like ladies first. And I'm like, that's not Matt.
And leaving that awkward silence in there, like saying, awkward silence. You go in. Makes it even more intense.
And if you guys missed it over on Twitch in Bethany's story, she mentioned the hat covering Matthias's ears.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
It brings me so much joy. Matt, you know I love you, dude. You know I love you. I don't like the hats. I know that Amanda likes the hats. I don't know. I would much rather see like Matt in a beanie or something like that. I don't know. But
A beanie?
I'm a
Beanie out of everything, Matt and a beanie.
okay. If you want to know
Like-
what my wardrobe consists of, think Avril Lavigne. If you guys know who Avril Lavigne is, that is how my makeup is done. That is how my hair is done. That is how my wardrobe is done.
I have no idea who that is.
Valuable information.
She's just a skater boy. She said, "See you later, boy." I'm getting copyrighted. Sorry.
I still have no idea who it is, but okay.
Yeah,
I don't even recognize the face.
My soul. I love Avril Lavigne. Anyway, but yeah, like
Made a quick recovery.
on TikTok.
Yeah, you made a real quick recovery there.
My favorite TikTok, one of my favorite TikTokers, her name is Shoe Lover 99 or 89 or something like that. She's going through something traumatic right now, and she got on and was asking, she's like, I had a very bad day. If you guys could show me your shoe collection. I just looked over. I have like 3 pairs of Converse and sandals. That's all I wear.
There you go.
I have Batman Converse, beat up Converse, new Converse, and sandals. That is all I wear. Oh, and I also have shark slippers.
You would too.
Hi, I'm Artemis. And I don't know why I'm
Hi, I'm
single.
It's as long as they're not baby sharks.
Just call all of us old without directly calling us old.
No, I said, hi, I'm Artemis, and I have no idea why I'm single. But yeah, Batman Converse. I have Batman Converse. I have 2 pairs of Batman Converse. One I don't ever wear, and one I wear because they're not really, they're meh. The other ones I don't wear because they have too much color. They have the like yellow symbol, and I'm all like,
Oh,
yellow.
I got you.
I'm a black girl.
Ew, yellow.
Yellow. Who wears yellow? I don't like color. Give me black. Give me blue. Give me gray.
Her inner villain right there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I am a Slytherin, so. But do we have any more questions about the story? Let me zoom through the story now that I have it off of the air. There was something else that I was like, ooh, that could be Dreamcast, the out and in. What does Matt always say? Matt always, like, he has a catchphrase. Somebody's, like, compiled a list of it. What does he usually say?
Well, yeah,
How is this happening?
How is this happening? How is this possible?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
I
right now,
think
Matt
that
didn't
is the
say
only
much, but-
critique that I think I could give you is more of those.
Or
Okay.
what?
More of Matt
Well,
going,
he said fascinating
how is
like
this
5
happening?
times, so-
How is this like that's Matt. Snacks. Oh, that was amazing that you mentioned snacks. Because that is a Matthias thing.
That is definitely a Matthias thing.
Mm-hmm. That
Really,
is
I like that Matt used to say, check this out, all the time when he was showing things to people. He doesn't say it that much anymore.
no.
Check this out.
Probably because somebody called him old for it.
Ew.
That is definitely an old thing. Like, check this out.
Was it you
It's
that said that?
No, it wasn't.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no.
That's something you would say.
Remember, I'm like a couple of months older than Matthias. Like, I'm not gonna pick on his age because I'm a little older.
On everything else.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Oh, when you said water's corrosive, I was like, Matt wouldn't know that. Would he? I don't know. And Matt,
wrote
but the
this,
thing
that's
is Matt knows, like, he gets into these, like, phases where he'll, like, study it up, like, the whole spores rant. And what everything he was saying about the
Nelson,
spores,
though. That was Nelson.
everything he was saying about, no, that's a Matt quirk. But everything he was saying about spores was dead on, but the way that like everyone like phased out and was like, oh, that's what everyone does to me when I talk about like quantum physics. So I really felt like kindred souls at that moment.
Yeah,
But
the water thing just seemed like a random fact that he would know. So threw it in.
yeah. I mean, he teases me, I tease him right back. It's not like that I'm mean to him. Like one time
Artie's a jerk. I mean, what?
I am, but he
Did I
sent
say
us
that out
I'm just
loud?
kidding. I'm
he
kidding.
sent us one of the thumbnails, and it was like, I have to look it up, one of the thumbnails, but what it was Matt was like pressed up against the wall and listening, and there was like
Oh
this
yeah, the voices one.
yeah, there was like this
Oh,
outline.
I remember this. Yeah.
There was like this outline and there was a hand, and I was like, dude, that hand. So Matthias,
Zoomed in on it.
he zoomed
and
no,
then
he
sent
zoomed
it.
in, he zoomed in on his hand and
Mhm.
sent it. And I was like, you jerk. Like, I
Oh,
didn't
man,
mean
yeah.
your hand. I meant the creepy hand in the background.
I love how someone made an edit with the speaker pushing through the wall that looked like a hand. Someone made an edit with like high five now because it looks like a hand.
Was that
high
was
five
that-
then, high five now.
yeah,
High five now,
feel
yeah.
old yet or something like that? This is high five now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
remember
I
who-
think
who
that
made
was
it,
that
but that was
Emiko?
funny.
Was that
It was
Emiko?
either Emiko or Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
one
was-
of those two. I don't remember whose it was though. It was pretty
No,
funny though.
Ryan
Made me laugh.
made a lot of those memes
But
like
then
later on.
it's our luck that it was like Lucarin or something like that.
Mhm.
But that was a funny, yeah. Feel old yet? Yeah, but because Matt listens to the podcast and he knows the whole joke that, apparently I have a thing for hands.
You do.
That
It's not just apparently, like you do. It's true.
I no.
Why do you think that we have this sticker now?
Because Brandon hates me.
Nobody hates you. You just have a weird
No,
thing for hands.
Brandon made that. I think it was
I
Brandon,
mean,
wasn't
I'm
he?
hearing tons of denial, so maybe there's some truth there.
What?
Yeah. Artie was like staring at pictures of Matt's hands.
Oh,
at
I
the video
did.
of a
That's where it
milk.
got from. I had a whole bunch of pictures of Matt's hands because I wanted to see.
Exactly.
But hold on,
Why else
I
would you
wanted to
have
see
them?
because on Woods the ring was Woods didn't have like a set place he put the ring on. So in one video, Woods had it on an 8 on his 8th digit, and then on one video he had it in the second, and then he had it on the third. I was like, "Ooh, is this a code?" Like, this is how in depth I was watching 863 videos before we started getting involved with the podcast, and I had to focus on the podcast. But so I had a lot of screenshots of Woods's and Matt's hands to see if and Matt never shifted the ring. He never moved the ring around, but I had a lot of pictures of his hands to see if he did, to see if that was like a clue to something. And, yeah, so, and I can't
To any
remember, I was
outside
like,
eye, it looks like you have an obsession.
I know, and so
Yes, he
I
does.
think I was doing something on my phone and sharing my screen, and people are like, "Why do you have all those pictures of Matt's hands?"
Mhm.
And as a joke, I'm like, "Oh, I have the thing," as a joke.
As a joke.
It was, and they laughed, and then I was like, "No," and I explained to why I had a whole bunch of pictures of his hands, and it just, I
They
think it was
wouldn't believe
Brandon.
you.
Brandon made it a whole bigger thing than what it was. So
Oh, of course. But like you wouldn't do the same thing to someone else.
no.
Yes, you would.
I
I
would.
mean, that hesitation there speaks volumes.
I was actually going to lie and say no, but then I had to sit there and think, wait, have you done this though? That somebody could point out and be like, you're lying.
We appreciate your honesty.
Have I done that to anyone, any staff people?
Completely ruin their lives? I mean, wait, what?
Just you.
Yes.
Just you.
Yeah, just me.
Just
guys,
you.
I'm trapped. I'm trapped in her basement. I mean, I'm fine.
I don't have a basement. I live in Arizona. None of us have basements in Arizona.
I live in South Dakota, and everybody except me has a basement.
All right. I think we will go ahead and read Guilt Forgoes Success by Nyx.
I don't know. I can see if she's on. I can message her,
All
but
right.
Yeah, if you want to, you can just have her. Just let her know if she wants to. Just to join the subject for podcast general VC, and I'll bring her up here.
I
Just
got
want
you.
to
Yeah, let
And
me.
you're totally free to stay up here too.
look at that
Okay,
artwork.
cool.
Like, and I like how the light, oh my gosh, like, I like this, and I like how the cups look like styrofoam cups.
What? Oh yeah.
We're looking at the artwork for Guild Forgo's success. But yeah, I like the artwork. Ooh. Oh, sorry. I thought I saw like a face in the steam of the cup. Wait, is one of these hazel and one of these like
Nut.
caramel?
It's one of these hazel and the other one nut.
Nugs! Somebody can take that dirty.
Why?
I'm not. No.
Sure you're
No,
not.
we're
Sure
rated
you're not.
PG-13, right? We're not rated X. Anyway, he didn't mean it, guys. He's very innocent, so.
I don't know about that.
So, looking at the cups.
Yeah, it's
Are
really
you
cool
really?
art.
Mm-hmm. Shame on you. I didn't do anything.
Oh, yeah. Grace, why do you have to bring up neck?
Yeah, neck. Like, that's the best thing you could have brought up.
I hate neck. I hate the
hate-
fact that neck became not the whole meme of neck was like a meme and it kind of fizzled out. But the fact that Artemis hates neck became this huge thing, and it even got into a stupid video because of Bread and because of Garrett. Ugh. They're like, well, you're in an 863 video. I could have gone my entire life without that. Still don't know if Matt even knows it made it into a video. He probably does.
Oh, I'm sure Matt knows he made it. It made it into a video. He's not that clueless.
I don't know. Have you seen the movie Clueless? They wrote it about Matt. No, I'm just kidding.
They wrote it about Matt.
No, just kidding. No, it was a 1990s rendition of what was that book? Oh God, that's
Darth Jar Jar and the Sorcerer's Ring.
No, I hate you. No, hold on, let me look up this actor, and this actor will lead me to it. Cast.
Sure.
Okay, Johnny Lee Miller. Johnny Lee Miller, what did you do?
He
Emma!
died.
Emma! Okay, it's an old, who wrote Emma?
Sorry. What? Why? Oh, I thought you were like talking. Okay, I got confused for a second.
Emma. Jane Austen. So yeah, I wanted to double check. So Jane Austen, there's a book by Jane Austen, and it's called Emma. And the movie Clueless that came out in the 90s was like the 90s real life version of Emma and Jane Austen, if that makes sense. There's probably somebody out there who's all like, wait, what? Clueless is from a book? Yeah, Clueless is from a book. I think Paul Rudd is in Clueless. Have you seen Clueless, Nux?
No.
That's your homework. You have to watch Clueless.
No, I'm good.
No, watch it.
My sister likes that author, though.
Jane Austen? No, okay, it was 1995.
Okay.
Yeah, Paul Rudd is in it. So Ant-Man's in it. Watch it.
No.
Ant-Man's in it.
That's not going to make me want to watch it.
And he hasn't aged a day. What was that?
No, seriously, he hasn't aged.
I think Nyx is on. I DM'd her. Her user on Project 63 Discord is Exconde, EXECONDE. So I don't know if
in this server.
she should be, yes. So I don't know if she's gonna DM you or what, but she was like, okay, yeah, cool, that would be fun. And
What was it?
DM EXECONDE. The picture's like a bird on a
All right, I gotta
sword.
go find her on on the official.
It's a bird. It's a plane.
EXC what?
bird,
X
plane.
EXECONDE.
EXECONDE. That's
Oh,
her
I see it.
user.
I found it.
I
Found it.
Victory.
In the meantime, this is now the time that you guys go grab a snack, grab a drink of water, let's stretch. We have been live streaming for about an hour now, so make sure you are stretching. Grab those snacks, pet a dog, touch some grass, come back. I can see that this monsoon outside my my office window is just building and building. Like when we first started over on Twitch, it was just a cloud. Now I looked over and it's a monstrosity. So let's say
What is the strangest food combination you've ever had?
strangest food that I enjoy or that I've had.
Both.
Okay, so the strangest food combination that I enjoy is tuna fish sandwich with mustard. Don't judge me until you try it, guys. I love it. But you have to like mustard. You can't make a TikTok, tag me in it and be like, this is awful. It tastes like mustard. I hate mustard.
Yeah,
You have to like mustard, okay? If you like mustard, make yourself a tuna fish sandwich. Put some mustard on that puppy. It's pretty good. Also, hot dogs with mayo. Hot dogs and mayo is pretty good.
I haven't tried that, but I don't see it being bad necessarily.
I mean, it's just like hot dog is just a lunch meat, really.
Yeah, in a tube.
But the weirdest combination that I've ever had, and I did not like, was my friend swore up and down that watermelon and ranch was the thing.
Oh no.
And I thought that was absolutely gross. I hated every minute of it. It was not good. What about you?
The texture just seems weird. Not really anything. I mean, I like if I'm having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, sometimes you can put like Cheetos or Doritos on it. That's good.
I think she's coming in a bit.
Oh, yay.
Okay.
Yay.
Okie dokie.
I invited her to the server. Trying to see if it's gonna let her join the VC though. I did some security stuff the other day, so I don't know if it's gonna let her join the VC right away.
Angie says, I'm currently working on a commission while listening to the podcast, and you guys are helping me a lot to get inspired. Hey,
nice.
Hey, Angie.
Hey.
I came up, so if maybe I'll open this up to any podcast or anyone who's listening who's an artist out there. I came up with an idea. I saw it on TikTok and it inspired me to do some art on it. And if you know anything about the King Arthur legend, and you like the legend, this might inspire you and you might like it as well. Feel free, take it, run with it, whatever you want to do. But I saw a TikTok and it was
welcome.
Hey!
Hello.
Sorry, interrupting Artie here.
That's fine. That's your job.
Hey.
So do
Hello
you go by Nyx, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. But yeah, we were just about to read. Let me get your story up here. We were just about to read it. We're just killing time to make sure we can get you the opportunity if you wanted to read it. And then,
yeah, that would be awesome.
And then people can ask you questions or make comments. Bethany just went through it, and I think she survived.
Nah,
Still alive here.
Struggling for breath here. They were so mean to me.
Oh no, we're only
Nah,
mean
they're
to
good.
Matt here.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, okay. But to sum it up, if you guys want to do an art project and you want to do it with me, the art project that inspired me is the Lady in the Lake resurfacing.
Ooh.
So if you guys know, Excalibur, when before King Arthur died, he cast Excalibur into the Lake Avalon, and one single feminine hand reached up and grabbed it and took it down with her, which was the sorceress, the Lady in the Lake. And legend says that she is waiting for the next rightful king of Camelot. So, and I thought, oh man, I want to do a painting of like what it would be like if she resurfaced. So, if you guys want to
That's
join me in that, go ahead. Tag me in it. Whatever you guys do, if you guys do a painting or a drawing or I don't know, whatever your medium is, tag me on Instagram. But hello, Nyx. Welcome, Nyx.
Something.
Welcome to the chaos.
Glad to be
Welcome to the
here.
chaos.
Yeah, quite literally, welcome to the chaos. So we have your story up here.
Awesome.
And we're just going through the short stories of 863, the canon stories, and discussing them. That's all we're doing here. So
Awesome.
let me
Going back to our roots of the podcast.
Right.
going back to our roots. So anytime you want to start, go ahead, Nyx.
All right. Draft after draft after draft. Her pages built up as fast as reports did, as fast as she watched his anger and eagerness grow. She wanted to get this right. No, she had to get this right. There was no other option. Yet, the pages still piled up. Crumpled balls overflowed the plastic bin in the corner of the room, spilling out onto the floor as though to escape the scrutinizing eye they were continuously put under every time another joined the pile. It took Autumn a while, longer than she thought it would, but finally she stopped adding papers to that pile. Finally, a page sat in front of her, clean of mistakes and bright with potential. Now, all that was left to do was set the wheels in motion. Terminating Deborah was certainly not the easiest thing she had been asked to do, no. She would have much preferred a written report due by the end of the workday or a supervision on a new patient, which would have her on her feet for upward of 10 hours straight. But this was what she had been assigned, to quickly and quietly terminate Deborah. She was trusted. He trusted her, which was more than any other employee at Syntech could say. She worked hard for his trust, and she was not about to throw all of that away just because of a little moral dilemma. He trusted her, and, to her, that was worth more than any company. All she needed was him to guide her, and she would end up right where she needed to. She had potential. He had told her so. She couldn't, in any good mind, allow that potential to be wasted upon anything less than what Cyphus wanted from her. He was all that mattered, all that would matter to her. Deborah was in his way, in their way, and Autumn needed to eliminate such an arrogant obstacle. No one could be allowed to think of themselves as better than Nelson Cyphus, because, simply, it was impossible, no matter what sort of relation, familial or otherwise. 16 ounces of barbiturate, paralytic and potassium solution each, a deadly cocktail, was exactly what she needed. It was the most inconspicuous way to make preparations without drawing unwanted attention to herself. The chemicals would be easy to come upon in a lab such as Syntech. Having active euthanasia lying around was nothing worth a second glance from any employee. Best of all, Cyphus approved of her plan. He approved of her intellect, commended her resourcefulness, and encouraged the action to be completed as soon as was smart. I will be able to have the chemicals ordered, she had stated confidently, standing across the desk from him with her hands linked behind her back. 16 ounces of each solution, shipped separately from the company's order, will go completely unnoticed. He looked up at her with those cold eyes, a gaze that sent shivers down her spine like an electric current. A euthanasia. Simple, yet effective. He looked over the page Autumn had handed over, her neat writing detailing the process by which she would go, the options she had thought out for delivering the cocktail. And if it should fail? She stalled for a second, blinking rapidly. Sir? What if the administration does not work? Something goes wrong. What then? She took a breath, squaring her shoulders. The failure rate of a lethal dose in the past 90 years is below 6%, most failures falling on the administration and equipment. Deborah's file dictates no previous use of intravenous drugs, which means her veins are in good condition and easy to find. However, I do not quite plan to inject it, sir. Cyphus leaned back in his seat. Go on. The chemicals are just as toxic when ingested, only they do not act as quick. 16 ounces of pentobarbital ingested will be far more than enough for a lethal dose. Pairing it with the other solution will guarantee that once it has been introduced to her system, she will not have any chance of salvation. All Autumn needed to see was a small twitch upward of his eyebrows, and she knew she had impressed him, knew that he approved of her plan, approved of all the research she had done over the last several hours, and most importantly, that he approved of her. Well done, Autumn. Benjamin will retrieve what you request of him. After that, everything became a blur again. Often, Autumn found her days mundane, speeding by until she had the chance to speak with Cyphus again. Then, just for the span of time he read or heard her words, everything would return to a slow pace, and she was sure to take in every little detail possible when in their conversations. This routine of dissociation, she could only describe it as, continued until she received the package from Benjamin and held it in her hands. Any conversation he tried to make with her was pushed off and ignored, and she was quick to retreat with the package back to her office, where the blinds were closed and the door locked. She stared down at the chemical cocktail, now in a numb, unblinking manner. Again, she felt uncertainties rising to her surface, thoughts once more as they had when she had first been entrusted with this project, making themselves known through a twist in her stomach and a shake of her hand. She would never, ever doubt what Cyphus ordered. She didn't take him to make his decisions hastily. Surely lots of time and thought had gone into his decision of asking her to complete this project for him. Then an equal amount of consideration had gone into his decision to bring this project to fruition too. So why was it that she found herself reluctant? As much as she felt she didn't want to use that word to describe how she felt on the matter, it was the only thing that truly fit. Deborah, despite her arrogance and all her flaws, still contributed majorly to Syntax research. She and her work would most certainly be missed. There would be a hole left in the heart of Syntax with her gone, and Autumn didn't think there were many, if any, other people truly capable of filling that void. Yet, despite this, Cyphus seemed so sure that there wouldn't be any repercussions, should everything go correctly. She had to trust him as he trusted her. 16 ounces was a lot, she knew that, and part of her was incredibly glad Cyphus hadn't questioned the surplus in the order. Truth be told, it was for multiple doses. Sure, she had one main task, to terminate Deborah. However, should her attempt fail, she had something to fall back on. Most importantly, seeing as this project was a sign of utmost trust from Cyphus, she didn't expect this to be the last termination of its kind. She was careful to combine the two barbiturates, stirring them together with the utmost caution, and decanted them into small little vials, small enough to hide up one sleeve, small enough to be discarded in a waste bin and not be noticed, yet big enough to still be a lethal dose. She tried convincing herself that obtaining the barbiturates was the hardest part of the project, and that everything else from there on out would be easy. She had absolutely no idea just how wrong she was. It had been a long night. She spent most of it awake, toiling over paperwork from the lab, project reports for Deborah, incident reports for God knows what. She knew they were never truly reported. Eventually, the fatigue got the best of her, and her body was forced to sleep right where she was at her desk. It wasn't the first time she had fallen asleep as such, nor would it be the last. It always left her with a great deal of neck pain, but she never grew any wiser to it. Those papers were the most important thing. A distant honking of a horn woke her up, sending her jumping upright from her desk at the distantly loud sound. She sat wide-eyed for a moment as her heart raced, threatening to pound out of her chest at such a ridiculous scare. It took her a few minutes to get her wits about her before finally looking down at the pages on the desk, checking on the progress she had made the previous night. The incident report was filled out with her spindly writing, all boxes and requirements filled out except for her signature, which she was quick to scribble in with a careless hand. Her attention then turned to the Apple II sitting on her desk, which she reached over and turned on. The screen flickered to life, and after typing in her login information, turned to the chat between her and Cyphus, left open from the night previous, but the green text yielded a new message from him. They're out of cream in the break room. She rubbed her eye and looked towards the clock on the desk, reading to her that it was 3 minutes to 6. Her alarm was set off to go in another 3 minutes. She wondered what time Cyphus had his alarm set to, or if he had slept at all. He was always so dedicated to his work that she wouldn't doubt it. She wouldn't doubt that he had pulled many all-nighters getting work done, doing experiments. It was a noble notion, one perhaps she should adopt for herself. She pulled the heavy-set computer towards her and typed out her reply, praying that she hadn't left the message unanswered for too long. She would hate to have kept him waiting. Regular or vanilla? She leaned back in the chair, watching the screen in front of her eagerly, bouncing her knee as she waited for his response. She tapped her finger on her desk to an invisible rhythm of a song she could only hear, one she imagined to match the tempo of his heartbeat, not that there was anybody else in her little studio apartment to hear it anyways. Her apartment was bare, with a completely minimalist look to it. It hadn't always been like that. At one point, it had been covered with posters and little decorations. That had all changed when she had overheard Cyphus offhandedly mention that he thought such decorations were juvenile. Above all else, she did not wish to appear juvenile to him. The only sort of thing that could be considered a decoration in her apartment was a single vial of red liquid sitting on a shelf. It was something she prized, the first thing Cyphus had commended her on, her contribution to Project Pegasus. The shifting of text on the screen drew her guard back to the computer to read the new message. Mocha. One simple word was enough to pull her completely from any residual sleepiness she had fogging her mind. The cobwebs cleared, and she sat up straight, typing her response. Yes, sir? His response didn't even take half as long as it had first. I would like a status report on the project. She debated for a second, wiggling her fingers over the keyboard as though typing an invisible message, gathering her thoughts before typing out the report. I received and prepared the chemicals in several small quantities. They are safely and discreetly stored until the time comes, which will be soon. I will be placing the next step of my plan into progress within the week. His response came immediately. Today. Sir? I need the project to commence today, Autumn. Time is ticking. She frowned, glancing towards her papers. Sure, she had finished the report she had stated the previous night, but she had many other things on her plate as well. She supposed he had mentioned before that this project took priority above all others. Still, it felt almost rushed, not to mention the fact that she didn't feel ready. She wanted more time to make sure there were no flaws in her plan, nothing that popped out at her last second. It had only been a week since he initially brought up the project with her. Perhaps she simply didn't understand the urgency of this project to the extent he had implied. Sir, I am not confident that this project is ready to commence. I still have more work on it I would like to get done. I'd like to observe the subject's routines to gauge when the best time to proceed would be. As much as she wanted to be right by his side, give him a yes, sir, and have it done, she simply did not quite feel as though it were possible yet. She didn't know Deborah's schedule, and she didn't have any idea on how she would be able to administer the dosage. Should she have to do it today, it would have to be completely improvised, and she was not sure that it was safe to proceed on those implications. I like to see that you wish to be thorough, Autumn, but I'm afraid you don't understand the gravity of this project. It must be prompt. I understand you may be nervous, but I assure you that I would not have entrusted this project to you had I thought you incapable of being successful. You do not doubt me, do you? She jumped to the keyboard, shaking her head as though he were able to see her through the screen. No, sir, not at all. Good. Nor do I you. She let out a relieved breath and leaned back in her chair, letting herself calm down. She didn't want him to think she doubted him in any way. She trusted him with her life. She would follow him to the ends of the earth if he called for it. She needed no proof. He needed not show his work, though she would take any excuse to be able to see his genius at work. She trusted him completely, just at his word. Another message came through on the screen. Autumn, dearest, I know you wish to delay the actions to give yourself time to deal with the guilt. It is only natural for such a callow mind as yours to react as such. However, do not allow yourself the time to build a guilty conscience. Autumn, guilt forgoes success. He didn't even need to speak words out loud to her. All it took was those green words on the screen and the knowledge that he had typed them to fill her with the utmost confidence that she could do this task, that she would do it, and it would be done that day. Understood, sir. The project will commence today. Wonderful. I knew I could count on you, Autumn. The rest of her morning was spent confirming her research once more, double-checking the effects of the chemical cocktail when consumed. It was much more effective when injected, but it didn't matter. The cocktail was near tasteless, save for a slight tangy aftertaste. The two barbiturates acted as fail-safes together. In the case that the paralytic failed, the potassium would ensure cardiac arrest. And should the potassium fail, the paralytic would attack the central nervous system and shut the whole body down. However, when they acted together, whether injected or ingested, they were lethal. Although ingesting it wouldn't be as fast as injecting it, Autumn didn't need it to be fast. Deborah would be dead by the time the day was out, one way or another. The chemicals would do their job. The volume in which they were going to be ingested would ensure that. Throughout the whole morning that Autumn was inside the Syntech building, she had the tiny clear vial tucked up her sleeve. She couldn't afford to be without it all day, just in case the opportunity arose without any warning, and indeed, it did. The opportunity she seized arose at noon, when she passed by Deborah working at a desk, completely alone. Autumn made a beeline for the break room, where she proceeded to prepare 2 styrofoam cups of coffee. She took a glance around to make sure nobody was there before sliding the vial out from her sleeve. She pulled the black stopper out and hovered it over the cup, but froze for a moment. A painful knot developed in her stomach, one that made her think for a split second that she might be sick. Was she seriously going to go through with this? For a second, it felt as though she had a blinding moment of clarity. Was she seriously going to terminate one of their head scientists? Deborah, no less? Not even for a second had she stopped to question why Cyphus wanted her dead. Dead. For some reason, using that word felt a lot more stark. It felt more shocking for her brain to process that she was about to kill somebody. Substituting in the word terminate had almost watered the matter down to something that wasn't even half as serious as it actually was. If this went wrong, if she were to be caught, she could go to jail. She would be sentenced for murder on the 1st degree. Was that something she wanted to risk? Even disregarding the legal consequence, would she be able to deal with the guilt of it? Would she even feel guilt for doing this? Would she ever sleep easy again? Good morning, Autumn. The voice behind her appearing from nowhere made her jump, and the contents of the vial dripped into the coffee with the sudden jerk of her body. Hastily, she jumped the whole thing in before shoving up her sleeve again, and finally looked over her shoulder to see Deborah standing in the doorway, entering the break room. Good afternoon, she responded, swallowing the lump in her throat as she picked up the stir stick and quickly stirred the invisible solution into the coffee. How are you today? I'm doing just fine. How about you? There was a moment of silence, which caused Autumn to look over her shoulder to Deborah, who seemed to be eyeing her with some sort of skepticism. I'm doing well. Are you sure you're fine? You seem off-put. Sorry, Autumn laughed nervously, tapping the stir stick on the rim of the cup before letting it sit in the liquid. Didn't get much sleep last night. I understand that, Deborah responded with a dry laugh, folding her arms over her chest and leaning against the counter now, having made her way across the room. Nelson hasn't been drowning you with too much work, has he? She shook her head quickly. No, not at all. It's nothing I can't handle. He's completely reasonable with the workload. My days have just been so busy with trials and shadowing you, then I saw that all the paperwork I have is left for the night. He trusts you a lot, Deborah said. He had a lot more faith in you when you joined than I did, I'll admit. Autumn tilted her head a bit. Oh? I thought you would just be another rookie like the rest, that you would drop everything and run when the work got dirty. But you've stood steadfast. I see why he puts his trust in you, Autumn. Your head's in the right place. His trust rubbed off on me. She stood silent for a moment, blinking speechlessly at the sudden heart-to-heart from the normally cold and distant woman. Thank you, ma'am. May I ask why you're saying this all of a sudden? It just felt right. Don't take advantage of this. No, of course not. I appreciate it. I'm glad I've earned your trust. As she smiled at Deborah, she handed over the steaming styrofoam cup. Nelson isn't easy to win over. You must have done something worthwhile to get where you are. With that, she took a sip from the cup and left the break room, leaving Autumn to swallow a thick lump that had arose in her throat again. As she slowly turned her eyes to the styrofoam cup still in front of her, the stir stick sitting in it statically, serving no more purpose than to give her another reminder that she had purposely handed over the wrong cup. She leaned against the counter, letting out a strained breath, finding her eyes blurring suddenly with tears, which, despite her attempts to blink away, only fell down into the coffee in front of her. She failed him. No doubt that was her one and only chance, and she messed it up. She chickened out, allowed the guilty conscience to build up, just as Cyphus warned her not to. It wasn't even that her method failed, which would have been bad enough. It wasn't the chemicals that messed up. It wasn't an unseen reaction between the solution and the packaged sugar. It was her. She was the fault in the plan. The only thing Cyphus really fully trusted in this project was the one to fail. With a silent sob, she picked the cup up and dumped it into the sink, before tossing it carelessly into the bin and leaving the break room, masking her glassy eyes behind a lowered head as she hurried back to her office. For the rest of the day, nothing got done. She sat at her desk and stared blankly down at a report in front of her. None of the words made it to her brain. Rather, they only blurred together and made up gibberish. There was only one thing going through her head. Only 2 words. I failed. Nearing the end of the day, the phone on her desk rang, sending her stomach lurching to her throat. She hesitated before answering it. She knew who it was on the other line. But finally, on what would have been the last ring, she picked the phone up and held it up to her ear. Is it done? The cold tone on the other line sent shivers down her spine and put a cold grip around her heart. She was silent, lips parted as she tried to form words she dreaded speaking. They sat on the tip of her tongue, yet, despite her reluctant efforts, they wouldn't come out. Autumn? She cleared her throat. Yeah, sorry, She trailed off for a second. No, it's not done. She didn't need to see his face to know there was a clear look of disappointment on it. She could hear it in the momentary silence on his end, and then in his words. And why not? She rested her head against her free hand, shaking her head in pure disdain at herself. I couldn't do it. Couldn't? Or wouldn't? Couldn't. Tell me the truth, Autumn. Once again, she was silent, biting back the sobs of pure anger rising in her throat. Wouldn't. His sigh sent tears spilling down her cheeks. She knew he was upset, disappointed, as she was at herself. Everything he felt, she was feeling just the same. It seems I overestimated you. I'll make this up to you. I swear, I will. Her voice stopped dead in its tracks as she heard a click, and the line went dead. Slowly, she set the phone back down on the receiver, taking a deep and shaky breath, whispering to herself the finish to her promise. I swear.
Ooh, I like that.
Yay!
It was very
Nice
good.
job,
Snaps
Nick.
all
Woo.
around. Sorry, I gotta ban
Yeah.
someone.
You have to
And
ban
then-
someone, what?
Yeah, we had another person.
How beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice
Hold on.
job, Nick. Good story.
Thank you.
I had it minimized.
Angie says, I know this won't happen, but imagine for a second if they made short movies like of these stories with the actors we all know, like the one who played Autumn and Scott, etc. It'd be so cool. A
that would be
Soul
cool.
Uncaged Twice says it is a very good story.
Thank you. A soul uncaged twice.
It was a very.
It really
I mean,
was, yeah.
I was.
Well
if
written,
I wasn't
definitely.
also moderating on the side here.
Yeah.
Let me. I have to figure out. Okay, who can send
It
messages?
was definitely well written.
Subscribers.
Thank you.
It was. So, why Autumn? If I can ask.
I chose to write on Autumn because, like, there wasn't a whole lot of content on her in the videos. Like, before the last episode was released, we didn't have, like, an identity. We didn't have too much other than the letters and just what else we know. And I felt like I wanted to expand on this character that we don't know much about, and seeing the letters left in the Spire, like, really inspired it, and it seemed really perfect for my writing style. So I really wanted to elaborate on her dedication to Cyphus.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people got mad at me when I made my Autumn art. people were like, well, we
Yeah, that
shouldn't
was
be
stupid.
celebrating her. And I was like, dude, she's just as much as a victim as Matthias was. It's just a different
Yeah.
form of manipulation and, being used in gaslighting. Like in the sense of Autumn, it like, I don't know. But in my personal opinion, I'll just say it this way. In my opinion, I think the trauma and scars are probably more deep with Autumn than Matt.
Yeah, that's like I would say similar thing. It's like she has deeper scars, but she also has different scars than what
Yeah.
Matt had.
Well, and I mean, so what? And I love to play the parallels between the Matthias, because a lot of people forget that Matthias killed somebody when he was under Nelson's,
Right.
because I mean Ben was in prison, and so Matt was the one that went to the Syntex survivor's apartment, which means he had killed her and then went to the apartment.
Yeah.
So he, he did kill somebody. So did Autumn. But the thing about Matt is Matt doesn't remember doing that. Matt was being used to do that, but he doesn't remember doing that. But
Yeah.
Autumn will always remember killing Deb, a coworker.
Yeah, Matt was used as a vessel to get the job done, while Autumn was straight up manipulated into having it.
Yeah. And so the
Yeah, Matt didn't have much of
gaslighting,
a
because there
choice.
was a lot of gaslighting, there was a lot of manipulation, and there's like a lot of, Matt can always say, like, I wasn't at the steering wheel, like I wasn't in control.
Yeah.
But Autumn can't say that. Autumn says, I chose to do this. So
It's more of a
there was very
responsibility to
conscious
live up to.
choice.
yeah, and to me,
Yeah.
I love the I'm fascinated by Autumn's character, and the actress who played her was phenomenal. Alex, like, well, what's her real name? I can't remember. Let me pull it up here. While I'm pulling this up, by the way, guys, Scott is, if you were on TikTok, Scott is responding and reacting to Subject Force TikToks. The real life Scott, his name is Travis, the actor. He's reacting to TikToks that are made by him. So Cheyenne, that's it. Yeah, Cheyenne. So Cheyenne did amazing in that. I had a suspicion that she wasn't really part of it, and that's just because of my BTS background inside of I almost said Syntech, into Spellbound. But so I kind of just had a suspicion, but she played it beautifully. She played very like she was a coworker with Sam and Bailey and Woods and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I really liked the use of like the Chekhov's gun, like introducing her, and like it was like so curious because like in I don't know, season 2 or 3, I forget which one, but we had Quinn kind of substituting in for Subject 4, and then it kind of slowly transitioned from Quinn to Bailey. And so when Alex was introduced, I was kind of like, is she going to be like another impersonation of Subject 4? Like, what is bringing her in suddenly? What's going on here?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It was really good. And we had another Alex in the office. Because I'm still looking at Squatter. I still haven't asked him. But Squatter, if you're listening, I don't think he is. I think he's at a birthday party today. But I'm looking at Squatter's season 2 poster, and he does the credits like it's a movie, and it says edited by Quinn, Alex, and Billette. So there was an Alex that was I don't know if they're still working there, but maybe this person exited and they just sent this was all like, hey, just use Alex. Because Alex was never seen on camera type of thing. But
Right.
I think that Alex was actually a male. I think so.
I think so.
think so,
Yeah, I
too.
think that's right.
Yeah. So I'll have to ask Squatter who this Alex is on the season. It's his Project 863 season 2 poster. You can find it at s4podcast.com. We have all of Crouching Bison movie posters over there for Project 863. He's also working on some like Dope or Nope ones. He's working on some cast and crew ones. Like he has a Woods Revenge poster.
Yeah.
Woods wants revenge.
Yeah, and if you see a poster and you're like, I don't really have the wall space for that poster, or if you're just like Nelson in this short story and you think it's juvenile to have posters up, but you would like to see it on a notebook, let us know in the Discord, put it in our suggestions tab, and I'll let Squatter know, and he'll make it into a notebook for you guys. Because that I know he did one with Syntech snakes, and I was like, dude, I want that as a notebook. I still haven't gotten it as a notebook, but
You need it to write all down your evil masterminding.
I know how to take over the world. I am the future.
Yes.
There was something else I was gonna. Oh yeah, we were gonna talk about Travis, who is on.
TikTok.
He's on TikTok. He responded to the subject for TikTok because I was like, hey, Travis, we sent out the word that subject 4 to subject 4. Be sure to get ready for subject 4 to tag you in any edits they have done or art that they have done for Scott Cleric. And he said, can't wait. And if you're looking for him on TikTok, his TikTok is Storm Chaser Improv, all one word, Storm Chaser Improv. I think it's him and his friend who run that channel, but you can see him reacting to some of the Scott edits. So make sure if you have done any art for Scott Cleric, throw it up on TikTok, put some music, and tag him in it. You just at Storm Chaser Improv, and he'll react to it. So
Dope.
A Beauty Within says, I think Alex was an editor. Yeah, yeah, but we're all like, so I'm like confused. Like, were there 2 Alexes? Like, what's going on here? Because he doesn't have a last name for the editors on these. What?
I was saying I thought it was super funny on one of the episodes where they're going through the filing cabinet that they brought back from Location 7, and Alex is like, Matt, did you have any thoughts of Autumn at all?
I know, if you go back and watch that episode, you go back and watch that episode where they're in the Spire together.
Yeah.
She's like, well, do you guys all think like Autumn is such like a crazy person or something like that? You're like, oh,
yeah,
oh my gosh.
Doesn't she give Autumn a compliment or something and be like, yeah, she seems really smart? I feel like she says something like that.
She also makes this thing. She also makes it. It's kind of funny though when you think about it. She makes a suggestion because they're talking about like if we accidentally turn it on, there's potential, like there's a bunch of people in here who could be like Bailey can turn into a Nelson, Matt can return into a Nelson, or even Alex could. And Alex makes the joke of, am I going to be trapped in here with a bunch of Nelsons? And I'm all like, what? What a creepy thing to say. And she's all happy about it. Like, that's my dream come true.
Yeah. Well, it's like going back and watching all of like season 3, knowing the double X reveal, and you catch like any foreshadowing, like whenever Matt says, what, do you think I just edited all this and threw it together? When they're reviewing footage. So, it's fun to catch stuff like that you might have missed before the reveal happened.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Am I gonna get trapped in here with a bunch of Nelsons? Like, it's like, Ooh, you
We
a
need, like, a
weirdo.
compilation of, like, all the foreshadowing quotes. That would
Yes.
be so funny.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was thinking about making a TikTok about that, like all the like, yeah, you wish moments. I think when Scott first shows up, correct me if I'm wrong. When Scott first shows up at the office, Alex is there, but she's hiding over by the break room with
He was,
Bailey.
he was always hiding. They had never been in
Oh,
the same
yeah.
room together.
Yeah.
They even said it. They had never been in the same room together.
Well, they never been in the same room, but Alex was very aware that Scott was at the entrance because Matt came back and was going to hide with them because usually, like, if a fan shows up, they're there for Matt.
Right.
God, why him? No, I'm just kidding. In my humble opinion, I think it's Woods that needs to hide.
Absolutely.
But I mean, if it's a male, I think Woods was all like, "Oh, it's not for me." By the way, you know, if you are a male and you are a Woods simp, I'm sorry, but like majority is, it's a girl thing to show up and be like, "Oh my God, Woods," you know. But so Matt goes back to the break room and he's got his camera and he asks, he's all like, yeah, I don't want to go out there. But then he mentions Deb and Matt's like, wait, what? And then he walks
Yeah,
back.
hold up.
And I think Matt's camera captures that Alex is there with Kat and
Yeah.
Bailey. Ooh, it's starting to rain outside.
It was starting to rain in Arizona. Whoa.
Whoa. I mean, the past like week, every single night we've gotten rain. So,
Yeah, I'm getting rain where I'm at too. So yeah.
yeah. Wait, are you my neighbor? No, I'm just kidding.
Knock knock.
Oh my gosh. Just shows up.
No, definitely not. I am in Tennessee, so yeah, far away.
Oh,
We've been having super, super hot days until yesterday when we got a severe thunderstorm.
ooh.
And I was out at dinner with my friends, and water was literally coming in through the patio door of the restaurant.
Oof.
It was absolutely a downpour, and then today it was hot again.
Hi, frogs. Bye, frogs.
Exactly.
I know. They went, hola, and then went, okay, goodbye.
And then just dipped, like, bye.
Okay, bye, frogs.
I'm like, wait, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Frogs?
Well, I am actually,
rain
I'm gonna
does not
have
frogs,
to,
though.
we're gonna probably have to catch the last story. We will probably have to read that. Oh, sorry, I got a package. We'll probably have to read that next month because I just got a thunder. I just heard some thunder and see some lightning going on, so I don't want to be at my computer when that's going on. I do have a surge
Sure.
Probably
protector,
a
but I
wise
don't
idea.
really want to just like go off the air abruptly.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
that's
will.
probably better too, so you don't fry your.
And then, you know, it's BL Wilson or BH or BL. I'm dyslexic.
BL, yeah.
Is it BL?
Mhm.
BL Wilson, we will get in touch with you so you can read it on air. It will be the last Saturday of August. So we will get in touch and we'll have more of the authors. And I believe Chanel is going to start posting season 5 of 863. That starts at the 5th of this month. So excited for that. We cannot talk about that because that is behind a paid wall. If you would like to join the 863 Substack, and you too can be reading along with us. I'm not sure how we're going to be able to talk about it, though. Well, I guess we can talk about it on the official Discord. They'll figure that out.
I mean, if some folks make fan art, I mean, I guess you can theorize around the fan art, like, ooh, what does this mean?
Well, I'm making some fan art, so but that
Yeah.
it's taking forever. By the way, ladies, Nugs posted my Jordan in the chat. Actually, I can bring that up
Oh, yay.
so chat can see it. I took it's Zendaya. Like, I was all like, Zendaya gives me Jordan vibes. Like, the whole, like, sneaking around and being a photographer. I was like, that is such a, like, a Zendaya character, I think. So
Vibe.
I took inspiration from Zendaya, and not inspiration. It is Zendaya. So to me, that is my Jordan. I'll pull
Pretty
that
cool.
up. But this is a small part of... So yeah, there's my Jordan that I did. By the way, I do all my art on my phone.
Oh, nice.
What?
Do you use like
Yes, I do all
have,
of this on my phone.
Procreate Pocket or what app do you use?
It's Sketchbook.
Sketchbook. Oh,
Cute.
nice.
It is Sketchbook,
awesome.
my stylus, and my Galaxy S22.
Wow.
I will defend Ibis Paint X until I die. That is the hill I will die on.
Well, like, I'm a firm believer you do not have to pay a lot of money to do art or even, like, a podcast. Like, honestly, anyone can go live on YouTube and share your thoughts and make your
Absolutely.
podcast, and anyone can go live on Twitch. Stupid TikTok, though, won't let you go live unless you have 1,000 viewers, which, by the way,
Yeah.
this podcast is so close to getting. I would love to go live on Twitch. That is my goal for the podcast, is go live on Twitch, because I think that would be fun. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and shut this down. It's starting to rain really hard, and it got really dark in my room.
Awesome.
Artwork was great though,
It's
Artemis.
really dark in here. Well,
You're,
thank you so much,
I like it.
authors. Thank you so much for reading your guys' work, and thank you
Yeah,
for
definitely. It was really good. It really was.
thank you for putting yourself out there. And like, I know, like, there's like this, like, oh, but it's not that good, you know. I know you guys all had that moment when you submitted it. It was like, oh, I won't get chosen. It's not that good.
Absolutely.
But thank you
think
for putting
everybody
yourself
does.
out there. Like, and just like, you know, my Jordan art, any kind of art, this is an art form. Being able to write and express characters, that is an art form. So thank you so much, ladies, for sharing your art with us. Thank you for everyone who submitted their works and you didn't get on there. Doesn't mean that it won't happen next time. Keep going, keep pursuing. Because, like I said, we are storytellers at this podcast. We're just stories at the end, whether it be fiction or nonfiction. You know, stories is what teaches us, and what is what our lives lead up to at the end of the day. But thank you once again, authors, and thank you for the chat. Thank you for being so kind to our authors. And if you guys have any questions for them, they'll probably be up on our Discord. So if you want to ask questions, just ask it. I guess you can in the writer's room. If you have any questions about our authors, you can submit them in our writer's room. And but we will see you guys next Saturday, same time, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let me do the math in my head. That is 3 p.m. Central Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be here. We will be sharing a topic that the Discord chooses, and we'll be reading some of your guys' life things as well, whether it be nonfiction or fiction or not. And my dog is growling at the thunder. He thinks it's an intruder. But bye, guys. I hope you guys have a lovely week. We will catch you guys here next Saturday. Please be sure to check out our merch and our website at s4podcast.com, and check out our link tree in the description below for all the socials. And go ahead, like and subscribe. It's free and helps us out greatly and everyone here on the podcast. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Stay curious, everyone. Stay